So did you guys enjoy stopping traffic today? Well, you know, there are a few other things that I think we would get a lot of fun about stopping. Like the managers at the Palace Casino. Like those guys in the oil towers in Calgary who think they own our resources. And like a certain clan of conservative politicians under that dome over there. You know, when we gather at events like this, we have a tendency to make lists of grievances. And here in Alberta, there's no shortage of items to put on that list of grievances. Just as an example, labor laws that hold people down instead of bringing them up, a 1 penny on the dollar royalty, a government that ignores the poverty that's in front of it, a federal government that backs up its American partners by sending our soldiers to make war in other parts of the world. These are things that we should be ashamed of. But instead of making lists of grievances today, I want to turn to a couple of words which I think more and more apply to progressives in this country and the labor movement in this province in particular. Words like victory, words like opportunity, words like hope. Because when I look at what this progressive movement and what this labor movement has done for themselves and for working people in this province, I can't help but be excited and be optimistic. Because it was only just shortly more than a year ago, as an example, that a former premier, who we all remember, said that as his lasting legacy, he was going to introduce private health care in this province. He promised us the third way. He said he wouldn't retire until he had won that third way. And you know what? Ralph Klein was a man who retired in frustration, and he retired in frustration because of you. And I think it's important that we remember that the victory against the third way was a public victory, it was a people's victory, but in a large measure it was a labor movement victory. It was labor union money, it was labor union people, and it was labor union energy and dynamism that won that fight. And you know what? That wasn't the only fight that we've been winning in this province over the last year or two. We've won victories with the Labor Relations Board. You may have heard about our little fight. We won important victories. We've won victories at the bargaining table. We've won victories in the political arena. And we're winning victories on a daily basis. And that's one of the messages that I think that we need to remind ourselves on days like today. Because on May Day, we look back on our history to celebrate our victories, but we also look forward to the challenges and the victories yet to come. And the thing that we have to remind ourselves, that it is at times like this, at times of economic growth, when all the business pages are talking about investment and growth and booming economies, it's exactly at times like this when working people make gains. This is when we make gains at the bargaining table. This is when we make gains in the political arena, and this is when we make gains in our community. So I'm hopeful. We've made strides in the right direction. We've proved that working people and the unions that represent them can make a difference even in the most difficult of places like Alberta. We can set the agenda. So when I look forward, I look at what we've accomplished, and I look who we are. And you know who we are? We are those people walking on the Palace Casino line. Those people have shown us what it means to be a union member, because you know what? They faced a tough employer who hoped they would go away. But they sent them a message. They sent them a message that they're not going away. And today, we're sending a message that we're not going away today, tomorrow, or next week, and we're going to make change in this province. So instead of making lists of grievances, we should be making lists of things to do and victories to win. We will make a list, and on that list will be fair labor laws, On that list will be fair royalties. On that list will be an oil sands economy that works for people, not for oil companies. These are the priorities of working people, the priorities of the labor movement, and it's on days like this when we focus our energies and make promises to ourselves and to our brothers and sisters to go forward. So let me wrap up today just by saying the reason we're here is to celebrate, so let's celebrate, let's fight, and let's make change together. Thank you very much for coming. Happy May Day.